Not really. That might be the best way to try and get that puck snowball going. That's what I would prioritize at least.
All right, well, let's get into our opening game of DogChamp versus Alpha. We've got some predictions we can get through real quickly. Player with the longest kill streak. I'm going to say, seen some too many Death Profits pop off. I'm going to go Death Profit Monster.
Oh, Monster. I'll go Soul, man. I believe in the shaker roll for the puck.
Okay. Total number of teleports canceled. Oh, this one's bugged. I was listening to Suns Fan and Cinder, and apparently that quest just always put no. It's not actually registering anything. Oh, the cookie doesn't get him over the Fisher. Yaren looks the wrong way. Either way, he might have still been dead, but a good first blood to start things off for Alpha.
I mean, Pingu stole it there, but yeah. Still some extra gold.
Player who does the most magic or pure damage. I mean, Venomancer's got to be a pretty good target for that one, right?
Yeah, but by 10, I could see a world with DP, but
yeah,
we'll go Veno. We'll go Veno.
All right, this is a boring one. Number of ancient camps stacked by 30. Whatever.
I mean, yeah, sure.
just throw out whatever number you want to go there, because who knows? I mean, we just don't know the pace of this game. Jesus. Tibu, who is their stand-in, I'm not exactly sure. In game, his name was Papa Lumpy, but apparently this
Papa Lumpy.
Well, on screen we've got Tibu Ronson. I don't know how to say that name exactly, but he is their stand-in for Stonebank. So definitely want to keep an eye on him and his performance and see how he does for the team, as I assume this was a last-minute stand-in. I believe there were some sort of power issues, so.
The power issues strike again. Very Imba hero. I would be first phasing power issues in this patch, to be honest. Surprised more teams aren't.
Well, at least for the TI qualifiers anyway. Hopefully it doesn't continue into TI itself.
You know, already Alpha, they're getting the better of this early game. Like, first blood, extra rune trade. They forced this Void to TP to the lane. Extra net worth gone. They got Equilibrium super far back top. This is already a very heavy net worth lead for like 1 minute in. Which usually you don't see, but it means a lot in these early games. Just more regen you can ferry out. Usually you get the levels faster. You can play more aggressive. Pretty decent start here already.
Yaren. The early uproar. Seems that a 4-position Primal Beast doesn't really change from core. You just still get uproar and just use, if they ever hit you, use the damage and fight back or get denies or what have you. This mid matchup of Soul and RCY that we're currently watching is going right for Soul, at least to start, though I expect things to get worse over time. I feel like the Tinker's nukes are usually pretty effective against Puck in game.
Yeah, he should be fine on this lane. I think it's going to be pretty hard to snowball the lane for the Puck. You just try and get as much as you can, get to... I guess it's still Witchblade, right? I don't really know if there's another way to build this hero. I mean, Yules could be interesting versus Tinker, but I think your scale just becomes too weird. The biggest thing is, does DogChamp snowball this bottom lane for them? Because they're trying to put the pressure on Rises, and they're doing a pretty decent job. Ultimately, you want to get to the Urn on Veno, you want to get to the level 3, and then you want to kill him. You get the Urn charges, then you start to snowball this lane. They are struggling to get there, though. Like, the net worth difference between this Bloodseeker and Veno is severe.
Yeah, and they just put all this damage on him, but he got to hit a whole bunch of creeps underneath tower, so he healed a decent amount from there. His thirst is really stacking up thanks to that top lane being a bit low, so...
Yeah, they are struggling on this bottom lane. I mean, Veno can struggle these first 2 levels. It's his biggest hole.
Yeah.
You just don't want to struggle this much. Like, he is spending net worth on regen. He has to spare at another salve. Pushes him down very far. And, I mean, his Bloodseeker is still so fast down here. Jeez.
Yeah, Snapfire and Faceless Void are low pretty much at all times, thanks to Monster being constantly up in their face.
Yeah, he's just smacking him. I mean, it's a good idea, right? Just aggressively trade, because you're going to win your safe lane through that vehicle. Even if it's slightly worse for you, who cares? I mean, you're Death Prophet. Does your net worth really matter? Not really. Just get to level 6 and kick him out.
Yeah.
A very nice early game for Alpha here. Pretty much exactly what they want. They want the Puck and Bloodseeker to have a really good game, DP to just get levels, and not give any snowball advantage to Veno or Faceless Void.
He hit him with a Venomous Gale, and it did not slow him down hardly at all. He was like still like 450 movement speed. And sadly, because you're a Venomancer, your base damage is incredibly low. So getting actual last hits against this Bloodseeker is proven to get worse and worse and worse. The whole idea is for you to shove the Bloodseeker out of lane so he can't contest that CS in the first place.
The
now,
Gale.
just flat out misses the Gale on the Winter Wyvern, will be dove underneath tower. Rises even taking the tower shots to ensure that he does get the last hit, thanks to Pingu.
This lane's a disaster. You're getting double up to net worth at 4 minutes. It's already getting out of control. He still doesn't have the Urn on this Veno. He will get it when he respawns. But Urn is also not an item that helps you from a behind position. Now you are pretty much in a position where you have to get some kill on this lane. It's up to
Need a
Primal
bash.
Beast.
Tried to do a little something there with the cookie. If they got a lucky bash, they probably would have killed Flea, but they did not get lucky. So
Even RNG not on their side.
no, seems not. God,
It
yeah, I'm
is.
just watching this Venomancer just miss so much CS. Misses like the flag bearer creep over and over again.
Yeah, he's struggling. I mean, that said, this Bloodseeker's been 500 MS plus the whole time, man. He's just having a free-for-all because top is just getting chipped so hard. It's just insanely punishing for them on the side lanes. Mid's not even going much better. Soul's just destroying the CS board against his Tinker. Is up 12 CS. Almost
Yeah, that's,
600 net worth.
That's really impressive to me. They chased down Italiano Gangster underneath the tower pretty easily. I would have thought that with the new really slow orb and like just up against playing against laser in general, I would have thought the Puck would have been the one further down in the CS chart.
Yeah, he's trying to push him further. I don't like they have the damage though.
Do have a cookie. Phase shift dodge. So Soul is fine. 6-minute power rune. RCY really hoping it's bottom, and it is a regen rune for a Tinker. That's pretty nice.
Blocked him off.
He is blocked off.
Still have coil too. Where are you going,
Yeah,
son?
they've got the coil. They really have him locked down. Flea uses the enchant totem. Soul cleans him up with the next orb, and as a result, Alpha definitely winning all 3 lanes now. 3,000 net worth lead across the chart.
Destruction. I mean, winning the side lanes also helps this roam mid that we were discussing, which
Yep.
is the best pressure point you can create because the DogChamp supports do not want to leave the side lanes. The matchups are kind of bad and they weren't going well to begin with. Tinker is a weird hero to fight around. He can be good if, you know, he has like some higher HP and he can get his spells off early, but in those types of situations where you're just outnumbered, tends to just be pretty susceptible.
Yeah.
So this is exact game flow Alpha once. It's getting out of control pretty fast here.
His face's voice just hiding underneath the tower. They're gonna get a second creep wave to tank cover the siege wagon, so this tower is probably gonna go down to close to half health. It's pretty rough before the Death Prophet even has exorcism.
Yeah, and the thing about this is the DP can exorcism these towers down. I mean, one, it's super nice because the DP's happy, but the flip side is the Tinker's super sad because Hero wants to fight around the tier 1s. It's one of the strengths of him, just being able to go to base, rearm, come out, take the skirmishes around high HP towers that your team can join, get the number advantage. You lose your tier 1s early, this hero just he has nowhere to go. You end up being stuck in split push mode forever. So
Yeah,
they
I would
really have
say,
to defend these.
I would say this Tinker is more dependent on his towers than the March of the Machines Tinker. Just because I think you're more dependent on farming lane creeps than you were neutral creeps.
Yeah, I think for sure. Like, this Tinker wants to be level 8 or 9 and defending the tier 1s. That's the ideal early fights for him. He sees everybody, he can get multiple rockets off. To get on top of him, you have to dive deep. It just creates nice points where your team can take the engagements alongside you. If you lose these towers, you just have nowhere to fight. It's like now you have to push in bottom with your Veno or something. It's very awkward.
Well, Tinker's going to make
kill
his first
DP.
rotation here up to top lane, but Bloody 9, oh, the raindrops, it's not going to save him. Yaren's going to join in here as well. They get the kill on the Earthshaker. Monster does still have another Spirit Siphon, and he's got Pinko behind him, so this is just simply not a kill that they can get. And Tinker knows it too. He heads back to mid.
That's still decent for them, though. They get the, like, Tinker gets something out of that move, gets to go back mid. They keep the Void up here a little longer, which will push them to 6, and the DP had to use all her Siphons. So now this Exorcism timing that she wants to aggressively take this tower with, she doesn't have the Siphons to back the move up. So it's going to be kind of awkward. Like, if Tinker can rejoin this fight again top with Chrono, this is the best fight they're going to get. I think they should take it here.
We'll see. They've got the heroes behind him to respond. The Fissure, waiting, throws it out now. Doesn't get Yarn on the right side of the Fissure, though the Faceless Void is actually pretty low. He's going to have to back off. Monster's out of Spirit Siphon, but he has enough health. Bloody 9, no longer able to get that kill. Will dive to the rotation of Soul, who still has the coil. He's going to explore this jungle area, see if he can spot the Primal Beast. Misses out on the orb, so.
Where was Tinker?
Good question.
I feel like that's 100% the fight that RCY wants to join. You just come in here, you rocket laser that DP, she dies. Suddenly you can take the fight with Chrono maybe if Puck decides to engage. I don't know, I feel like those are the types of fights you have to take in this game to try and come back, because now you're just going to lose this tower for free to Exo. Puck didn't even have to use Coil, and he already has Witchblade up. So we're talking about Puck snowballing in a meta where he isn't as strong as last time. I mean, he is looking quite good.
Yeah, we talked about the difference between the new-ish Tinker and the old Tinker with March of the Machines, and I feel like that's the advantage of the new Tinker, right? Is because you have this ingrained boots of travel, basically, off of Rearm. Like, you can make those rotations to the side lanes and gank earlier than you used to, where you were very AFK farming during this period of time and you would just focus on getting your boots of travel. So I feel like, you know, Tinkers nowadays, they got to be looking for opportunities like that, like you were saying, just a big kill on a Death Prophet that would have netted, I mean, a lot of golden experience, but also just would have decreased the pressure that was out there on the map. Now, Monster has taken that top tower.
Yeah, I really think that was the fight that they... That's like the only fight they're going to get in this early game that's going to feel good for them to take. Because it's Alpha going into them, setting the fight up with Chrono, Tinker, Rearms. Now it's going to be a little awkward. Like, the only other one now is kind of this mid lane tower. But this mid tower has been chipped so much. It's already 550 HP. I mean, if you give up this mid tower, I think this game becomes extremely hard. It's just a question of, do you have the capability to do it? I mean, if they save ults, if you have Chrono with kisses, it's probably good enough.
Yeah.
But I think you have to be thinking about these things with like a Tinker lineup. You have to just be playing for them and take the right fights and get this hero going.
Well, Monster's off to a very good start. Did have the highest magic damage by 10 minutes. Avery?
Well, I did say that was a possibility. I mean, I chose the wrong one yet again, but I mean, what can you do? I gave it to you. That's what a good teammate does. Good support player. Makes his carry look good.
You know what it is? It's this new orb. It just doesn't hit the way it used to. It doesn't land on the enemy mid laner the way it used to, you know? It's too slow, too easy to dodge.
Yeah, back in my day.
I will say, I did enjoy Puck being back in the meta, even though he was terrifically OP. There was this period of time where Puck was just not viable for a good, like, 2 to 3 years.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, I think EG enjoyed it too, you know, so you weren't alone there. There's definitely some teams that really like this hero being in the meta. I mean, even OG abused this hero for a decent amount of time, you know? People, I don't think people thought of OG as a Puck team, but if you look through their drafts, they abuse this hero to the maximum, so the good Puck teams definitely enjoyed that period. But I think the hero he's come to a different place now.
No stacking whatsoever for this Tinker. You talked about how the supports don't really want to move around too much. They can't really gank mid. Well, they didn't get a chance to stack either because of how poorly the side lanes went all around. So as a result, there isn't really a big recovery mechanism for the Tinker, like an Ancient stack. A lot of Tinkers like to get a big Ancient stack and then they smoke and they just laser farm it. because if you're smoked, the creeps won't run anywhere, so they stay in a nice tight ball where the AoE splash does its work.
That sounds fun. I might clear some of that later.
Well, it's fun if you have the stacks. Right now, it's a simple 2 stack, so I don't know if RCY is having too much fun in this game all around. Soul does manage to get the kill on Italiano Gangster, who I guess he was trying to put pressure on mid. He took the bottom tower, so he decided, okay, mid's now the place to be, but didn't really have any backup from his team.
And the backup was smoking here. They want to use Chrono Kisses. They just don't know where to use it. Might end up forcing this mid, but the mid force is not going to be amazing if they don't get Wyvern here. Looking for Void. Or looking for Bloodseeker.
I feel like maybe they could still kill the puck thanks to Kisses, right? Or am I wrong? I feel like it's like so much magic damage.
It's a lot, but I don't know. Like, if he gets embraced in Chrono, does he die 100-0 in the Kisses without getting like Orb phase off at the end? It's pretty close.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I wouldn't feel good about it. The turnaround potential is pretty high. I mean, they're just going to find nothing off that move. I mean, this is a lot of time that this Void is just... He TP top, didn't find the DP, got smoked to mid, didn't find anything. Now he ran to bottom to hit creeps. It's like 2 minutes he didn't gain any gold. A lot of time now.
Trampling around, Kisses being used, but Pingu just TP's out, no stuns.
Man, that DogChamp's getting frustrated in this game.
Yeah.
They feel like they're getting out-farmed, which is exactly what's happening, and they don't really know where to pressure to regain the control. I don't think it's in theory that bad if they just split the map, but I can understand why this game feels bad. They're just kind of looking down the barrel of cores who are ahead and getting to their BKBs faster. And the BKBs are quite good here. You're eliminating a huge chunk of their damage. It's one of Tinker's weaknesses.
Well, because this game's going so well for Alpha, Flea, who had a shard queued up, is actually going to go for the Blink Dagger, which is probably way more impactful against that hero right there, the Faceless Void and the Tinker. You can get a Blink Dagger instead of going that shard, which OG kind of showed off early on in Arlington and such, then that's going to feel real nice.
I mean, as long as you feel like you're going to have impact with either one, I think it's fine. I mean, he's actually saving the gold, so maybe he's thinking about what he wants. I think either path is okay, because I think just the Fissure play in this game is actually decent, too. You can play off the Puck Coil, you can cancel a Rupture or TP, you can help the DP hit somebody. He bought Arcane Boots first, so I think he might be thinking what he wants to do here, but either way, he is having a very good game. Very farmed, very high level. Full max Fissure. I mean, this max Fissure does a lot of damage, especially with the talent. People underestimate it. It's like almost 350 with the talent. Thing's annoying, dude. You get hit by this, you feel it.
Yeah, especially if you add on the shard pickup on top of that, so then you get not only the 350, but then you get the aftershock damage added in there as well, an extra 100. Like, it becomes a huge swing for an ability that can hit you, like, you know, outside of smoke vision. And Faceless Void caught once just seconds ago. Down in the bottom lane, will die again in top. TP and Italiano Gangster, but most of his team is already dead. They've lost 2, and he is not in a position. Well, first of all, he doesn't have Poison Nova, so he doesn't have like a big team fight impact that really scares Alpha. So he just has to scuttle on back behind his tier 2 and hide.
I mean, he also has no vessel charges because he never got any urn charges.
True, yeah.
He's 0, 3, and 0. He's been involved in nothing, so this item is a dead item right now, which they need it to be a live item because it's Death Prophet Wyvern. So the heal reduction is massive for their team fight. Yeah, I mean, they're just not ready to take the fight, which I think is, I mean, it's okay because I don't think the fights are going to be that good for them right now. It's just, you can't give up too much in the meantime, and
well, in the meantime, they lost their mid tower for for free. So that's another Tinker Tower lost.
Yeah, they're losing a lot right now. The biggest thing is Ryze just has a totally free game. He's level 13 already. Way ahead of the pack. BKB online. He's an absolute monster. This might be just force the Roche with the next Exo. Like, what are you going to do about it?
Yeah.
Also, Fleet did go back for that shard. You got Tumbler Toy. Maybe that helps a little bit, but you just decided shard, max Fissure, Arcane Boots, good enough for me. I tend to agree. The The blink sounds good, but I think in theory it's not actually as good as just the extra poke. Like, especially into Venom wards. Venom wards make your blink lose some decent value.
Sure, yeah, that makes sense.
As well as Tinker shields. Like, if you blink in an Echo and somebody has defense matrix, the extra status, like, helps them live somehow randomly. It's kind of annoying.
Silence Coil. Please gonna just run up and Echo. And that'll be easily enough damage to kill the Faceless Void.
Good old Tumblr toy.
Yep, you've talked a lot about this item being probably one of the best tier ones. And,
Well, I just like it. I don't know if it's objectively the best. Every time I have this item, I feel like a god, you know? So, I hope other people
I'll
feel
say
like
it
that.
for you. I think it's one of the best. I mean,
Well,
200 mana and the active is super value.
Yeah, it's probably one of the better tier ones for sure. I mean, even just 200 mana on a tier 1 item for most supports is a very big deal.
Yeah. Especially if strength supports are going to be the meta right now, which Undying, Earthshaker, maybe some Omni Knights. They're all going to really love that item.
Oh, yeah.
Faceless Void building into a Maelstrom. And I would, you know, I don't normally advocate for Midas, but I almost want to say, like, you know, maybe you just dodge and pick up Midas and hope that Alpha, like, lets the game go 40 minutes.
Yeah, your plan is defensive-oriented fights and winning on ultra late. You have no other win condition right now unless this game goes 45 to 50 minutes plus, and you win off the back of maybe a base defense fight turning the momentum into, you know, Void Tinker become unstoppable beasts. Which even that is not guaranteed because, again, you have the Wyvern for the Chrono, and you have, like, a pretty strong Tricore from Alpha that at some point you can get Blink Daggers on these heroes. They already have one on Puck. You can get one on DP to find this Tinker. Tough game,
Now,
very uphill game for a DogChamp.
Tinker is, well, closing in maybe a little bit too optimistic, but he's getting there to the Shivas, and that is really when the Tinker starts picking up his farm even more, because then the Shivas helps him clear through waves faster. It just means you have to use less laser mana to clear out waves, and you can do it
Chrono
faster.
bottom.
That's been a nice kill. A little pickup there on Flea. Well, it took a lot of heroes for support. There were 4 heroes in the area, and look at Alpha. They're like, okay. They showed a whole bunch of heroes on the opposite side of the map. Just go Roche.
I mean, this Roche is pretty hard to stop. You need, like, some crazy time smoke with Chrono Kisses, so second Chrono's down, it's absolutely free. You're just gonna have to live with it, and again, split the map. You're gonna have to have someone bottom constantly trying to rat this in, force them to come back, even out the net worth somewhere else. The big thing about that kill was some extra gold for Void, but you also got 2 Vessel charges for this Veno. So at least you're activating this to some degree. You know, now the next Exo that comes your way, you might be able to take a tier 2 fight or something and just Chrono DP, throw the Vessel on. Sure, he gets embraced, but he might die to all the magic damage. Lasers, kisses, plus the Vessel. Very important item for them in this game. At least for the early portions. I mean, he does have BKB, so, you know, you miss some of the window here.
Missing windows all day long for DogChamp. And now they just kind of have to let Alpha take control of the game and hope they mess up to some degree and just play super defensively. Venomancer wards protecting towers. Tinker split pushing a whole bunch with his laser and soon to be Shiva spam. And hopefully Faceless Void just never gets ganked wherever he goes.
Sounds like a lot to go right.
Yeah, it does. And all of it being Alpha having no agency in the matter, which they certainly do. It feels like they have all the agency in the world. They can make any kind of decisions or moves that they want, including this 3-man smoke gank. Checking out the triangle. Nothing there. Faceless Void. It just moved out 30 seconds ago. So instead they just take the farm that's there. Okay, not bad.
I mean, if DogChamp do bait the fight deep, if they get the tier 2 dive or some fight like this, their heroes are very strong. They have a massive amount of AoE, which is the way you can turn these games around. Like, if you get a good level 2 Venom ult out, good time dilation Chrono, kisses come down, especially if you can catch the supports. If Wyvern Shaker overextend and get caught, Suddenly the cores on this alpha lineup lose a lot of value. You can get kited around. That is a way you can throw this game. You still have to be careful. You have to respect this type of like defensive-oriented lineup that can turtle and take the fights from behind. Sure, you have a net worth lead, but the net worth lead does not count for a lot if Tinker gets 10 spells off and you're all stuck in Chrono Venom ult.
Yeah.
And if you have 20 or 30k net worth lead, alright, you know, then you're probably invincible, but...
Manta soon for Rises. Seems like, you know, Alpha, they did a little bit of hunting, but honestly, it doesn't seem like they're too concerned about the game just kind of like dwindling out. I mean, they are out farming DogChamp, but I do feel like there's been a bit of a let up on the pressure.
Yeah, I would tend to agree. I mean, you have this bot's blink on puck. It's a lot of net worth in to basically catch. I think you would like to be using it. At least setting up on these side lanes. I mean, now they're looking at Tinker. This is... Ooh, that was a good cancel right there.
Yeah, definitely would have been caught by the puck otherwise. Taliana Gangster does spot out the two supports on the side here.
I'm surprised he didn't go more aggressive there. I mean, like, you find the supports in this game. That's the gold mine, man. You just...
Yeah. You keep them close, you get a Chronosphere on top of them, that's a team fight win right there.
Yeah, especially this Wyvern. If Wyvern gets caught, that opens up the Chrono a lot more. They have to really think about these support positionings. Think about the flanks in this game. With potential Venom Ward vision. But like you said, I mean, they're not building the lead. Now, the lead for Rises is growing because, I mean, he is soaking up everything. He will be massive, but Aegis is down in a minute. One good Chrono, this game can look very different. There's also a decent amount of net worth on this Primal Beast. Like, he got BKB during this time.
Finished out the BKB and he spotted the support. Exactly who you wanted to be able to see. As he pops the Cold Embrace, they pop the ultimate in turn. Pulverize does a decent amount of damage. Not enough to be able to get the kill, but with the help of the Venomancer, he's certainly got one. TP out denied as Flea was just standing by on the side. They knew that was pretty easy cleanup for them. They just wanted to prevent anybody escaping from that fight.
Shaker always waiting in the wings. Pretty hard to ever TP out versus lineup. Primal Beast BKB gets him a kill. I mean, if he can just charge in and kill Wyvern, trade his life for Wyvern, it might be worth it to set up the rest of the fight for his cores.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like his cores want to be able to fight at all.
No, I mean, you don't want to force the fight if you don't have to. You want to get the fight that comes to you.
Yeah.
Because you're still trading farm. It's not like this lead has grown. So, in theory, you're not too sad here. I mean, I don't know, this is Tinker gameplay, you know? You're... a lot of Tinker games look like this. You kind of have to understand the game position and just play for it. Be okay with losing a little to make it all back with one good fight.
When would you say that DogChamp, like, what is the item progression where they no longer take a backseat in the game, but actually feel good about, you know, being the aggressors for once?
Ooh, that's hard to say. I don't know if it's a set item as much as just like a game state of their levels. Just later on, they just need Void to be tanky enough that he can go in and survive a little bit to buy time for this Tinker to do the damage. I think it's also maybe Tinker's items, like him getting to BKB is super valuable here. It lets him actually jump in and not worry about the puck, not worry about the Shaker, aggressively use the Shivas. Maybe they can aggressively make something happen with BKB Shivas on this hero. I'm just not sure. Like, there's a lot that can go wrong, too. If he blinks in and gets Wyvern Cursed or Ruptured or something, it gets very awkward very fast. So that's why I'm not sure it's like items as much as Alpha giving them the fight they want. And if they get that fight, then the game becomes easier.
Right.
That's how I see it.
Well, they're going to give them this tier 2 top, though. They might be able to get maybe mid in exchange for that. Get some decent damage out of bottom tier 2 as well with RCY. Doing his Tinker split pushing. The BKBs are closing in as the Faceless Void has his, and then we're just the Tinker, as you said, is going to be a really impactful one in the right team fight.
Yeah, they can also add up the regen reduction. Like, you know, you have the Shivas, you have Vessel. You can get a Scotty on this Void, which he might get at some point. I assume, I mean, it depends if he wants to go Mjolnir or the Scotty into Mjolnir or something like this, but if you add up all the health reduction, like, it lets you burst through this DP a little bit better. Maybe that helps you just sustain the fight longer. Because ultimately, all you want is the fight to go ultra long, and then Tinker will win it for you. Post BKBs, if he's still alive and he gets to come back a second time, or he still has full resources, Tinker will close out the engagement.
Did you, when you were playing, did you guys ever have a lineup like this that was like one of those like super late game, just turtle lineups? And if so, what's the communication like? Because you're just kind of like getting walked over everywhere you do, and you're just trying to be sneaky, right?
Yeah, I mean, you're either in like total split push mode and everybody understands that, or you're still looking for stuff, but you're looking for the small kills here or there if they mess up, you know? You're trying to force them into weird positions or make them think about stuff they shouldn't be. Then you take advantage of the slip up, gain some small advantage back, which will help you get to that late game timing. I mean, ultimately, you just need to understand the fights you want to take and just prepare for them and get there in as good a position as you can.
Well, they've got plenty of prep. That's for certain. There hasn't been a kill in, I don't know, it feels like 10 minutes. I mean, we've had an occasional pick off every once in a while, but yeah, they do get that mid-tower alpha. I'm a little bit surprised that they didn't just sweep over and, like, just, you know, run at these guys. But maybe, again, afraid of giving them the fight that they want. They cut mid, they push top into the tier 3. But DogChamp,
I don't know, that's a weird tower to give up like that. I mean, I guess Venom wards are pretty annoying, but I feel like you could smoke around and just take the fight with a high ground obs or something. They just want the next Roshan. Can't blame them. They probably don't feel like they're losing this game. At the same time, they're not winning it harder.
No, they're not.
We are
It's 7K.
still the same net worth, so I don't know. DogChamp have gotten a lot out of the last 10 minutes. Like, they really have gotten a lot. And they have a lineup that can use that. The longer this game goes, it's gonna come to a head at some point.
Smoke breaks, Snapfire on the wrong side of the Fissure will die. That'll set up Alpha for doing that, Roshan, because, you know, they're afraid of Chronosphere inside of Roche, but the pairing of Kisses with Chronosphere is really what's scary. So they seem to feel pretty confident.
I mean, this Roche is dying very fast. Probably not contestable here. Just gonna keep farming up. I mean, this Roche is the high ground Roche, potentially. Or you close out the whole map. I mean, the problem with the high ground is, again, like, how do you high ground this lineup? Venno, Tinker, Snap, Void is such a hard high ground push.
Sure, yeah.
I guess you just give it to Bloodseeker, let him hit it. They can't commit, or you get turned on. It's just, I don't know, Tinker makes high ground very annoying. You have to always think about it with this hero.
Yarn just dives through mid. They go on him. He's got BKB, TP out. I think just, where are the smokes? Where are the moves here from Alpha? Just catch some heroes.
Yeah, I really think they should be smoking like Puck +1 or DP plus a Shaker or something. They have a lot of catch mechanisms. They've had this blink on Shaker for a long time. He has Aether Psychic Headband too. It's like insane blink cast range. You should be able to find something on the map, because DogChamp are not grouping. They're just farming everything. That's why this lead has not grown outside of the Roche Gold.
Yeah.
They're just not punishing the map very well right now, and this could come back to bite them. Again, this is not a lineup you just want to go even with forever. At some point, you need to build the advantage or just force the high ground. So you have to pick one and commit to it. Get the
Yeah, it
job
feels
done.
like they had a strong understanding of like the first 10 to 15 minutes, but the vision of the game seems a little blurry in the last 10, 15.
It's definitely not very clear.
Well, we'll just hang out here and hope to God that something happens in this game. Otherwise, we're going to tune back in 20 minutes and it'll be like, oh, hey, DogChamp has won the game. Because all they have to do is just chill and farm. They don't have to do anything. They can get 1 billion items. I mean, like, when you were talking about Scotty on Faceless Void, I thought that was like a long-lost dream, you know? Like, some ancient idea of like, if all the stars align, you know, maybe we'll get this Scotty. But he's actually going to be able to get it at this rate.
Yeah, and it's huge. All right, TP's to defend this tower. I mean, catch something here. All right, they caught him.
A little something. All right, Coil, Monster, right on top of a bunch of heroes. He's going to stick with the 2 of Bloody 9 as well as Italiano Gangster, but at the same time, the Faceless Void and Tinker have
Wyvern's
gone in.
dead.
They've killed the Wyvern, and they still have a Chronosphere to be able to work with. Ryze is actually getting decently low. RCY is playing him right now. Constant missiles,
Destroying.
constant Shivas. He was able to get out.
Monster just getting kissed into oblivion. Disaster of a TP fight.
Oh, dear. All right, well, first big move there from DogChamp. They take advantage of Alpha. I don't know exactly what they took advantage of, to be honest.
I mean, that was just super disjointed teleportations. Like,
Yeah.
there's no reason a fight should happen like that. This Void even got feared out of the coil and it got snapped, and he was sitting there stunned for 3 seconds on a 4th HP. And there's no one there. There's no Shaker, there's no Bloodseeker there to clean him up. Like, that is a very winnable fight for Alpha here, and that is going to cost them a lot, because Tinker didn't even BKB for that. Like, they didn't Chrono, they didn't BKB, they didn't BKB on Primal Beast. They didn't even have to use much. They just get a free teamfight win. Very awkward engagement. They do have Tinker Ward bottom.
They do. They
Let's
see
get
him
killed.
RCY, he's a Tinker player. He knows. Brings his own sentries to these spots on the map.
I mean, he's getting into scary territory. Like, level 20 now. So he has the extra reduction. He has all Kaya going into this Ghost Scepter. Finish the E-Blade. He has it all done, actually. Rocking the Philosopher Stone on top. I mean, he does a serious amount of damage now. We're hitting the late game.
Yeah, would you say, you personally, would you give the win percentage over to DogChamp at this point?
I mean, the way the game is going, yeah. I think they just are playing to their lineup strengths, and Alpha's not been able to punish it at all, and they're not finding the openings in the fight. I think
Yeah, I mean, it's
theoretically
not like
Alpha...
all of a sudden things are going to click for Alpha, and all of a sudden they're going to know how to shut down the map, right?
Yeah, they're not shutting down the map at all, and it doesn't necessarily get easier to do that in a way, because this Tinker pushes faster.
Yeah, exactly. I was about to say the Tinker is more elusive than he's ever been. A good
Solid
Chrono
Chrono.
onto 2. The Curse is going to be able to counter it. It's not going to last super long, though. Monster still has the Cold Embrace on him. And Tibu, he's going to try and get out of here, but his BKB is now on cooldown. He thought the Tinker was going to help him out there, but unfortunately, there wasn't really any TP points around. So he actually, despite the decent Chronosphere, had no follow-up from the rest of his allies. Yarn goes in to try and help out Bloody 9, but RCY is on top of this with the BKBs on cooldown. He pulls out the Bloodseeker, and Monster's going to die as well from one swipe from Yarn.
Oh, RCY, you monster. Get them all.
Yeah, he doesn't care about this coil at all. He's going to turn, stand, and fight, kills your Shaker. Puck is on the run. And DogChamp feels like they are definitely in the driver's seat now.
Damn, he's level 24 now, dude. He's so big.
Ooh.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. These, like, aggressive fights, even though you get the early engagement win by killing this Void, you survive the Chrono. Tinker is the carry in this game, not the Faceless Void. He is the hero you have to think about in prioritizing these engagements. Cannot just give him free cleanup duty once the BKBs are down. I mean, he is in control of this game now, in my opinion. Like, highest damage output, extremely tanky. They do not have the BKB lockdown for this guy outside of Curse, which they used in that Chrono, so he just has free go to go in here. Like, this fight looks good, you know, you have double core kill at the start, you're super happy, but the carry's coming back, and he has enough stuns to get the job done. Just 100 to 0 is this Bloodseeker.
Yeah, pretty nice read there from Yaren, charging back in to give the opening for the Tinker to follow up.
Yeah, super nice read. And I mean, it's very hard to man up on this hero when he gets to this point. You need like blink abyssals and stuff, you know? You need some way to close the gap and stop him from just rearm blinking out. These types of things. I mean, Dream Coil piercing spell immunity would help, but we're a very long way away from that.
You know, Rises still has not died since the laning phase. I don't know when he died, actually. But
No, he died in that
early
mid-fight.
death. Oh, tried to go for the rupture, doesn't quite get it. And yeah, you're right. For some reason, I thought he didn't die in that last fight, but yes.
No, you got
that was his
obliterated.
first death. He's still, I mean, he's closing in on level 25, so it goes to show, like, he was keeping up his farm this entire time, but I don't think a Tinker, or excuse me, a Bloodseeker late game, like, that hero is pretty scary late game, but I don't know if it matches up to Tinker at all. I feel like that's a bad matchup for you.
Oh, it's a rough one. Italiano going in.
Yeah, he's just trying to force some action here, but the rupture on top of him means that he's likely to die here without casting any spells.
Well, I mean, whatever, just keep farming, I guess. I don't know. Tinker's doing Tinker things. Level 25 now. Missile mini stun, super obnoxious. That's another Exo down. I mean, the thing about the Rises is, yeah, he's the strongest hero in the game. He's super high level. He has all these ruptures and stuff. He's going the refresher build for quad rupture. It's great at dealing with most of the team, but I don't know if he's going to have the ability to actually deal with this Tinker for most of the fight. Like, traditionally, you'd want, like, I don't know, Swift Blink Abyssal or something like this might help. I don't think his build's bad by any means, but it does give some... Unless he can rupture this Tinker, it's giving him some extra freedom. And now, RCY is on a full hex, man. Ooh.
Yeah, full hex, level 25. You've got Blink Dagger on the Primal Beast. The Faceless Void is completed not just as Scotty, but almost has a full-out Mjolnir complete. And they are definitely in fighting shape for this next Roshan, which I would dare say if it goes DogChamp's way, that is probably just the game. I don't think they come back from giving up an Aegis, and what else is in there? Refresher Shard as well.
Yeah,
so.
it looks rough. Double Chrono would be the nail in the coffin. I mean, it really comes down to this Wyvern. If Wyvern gets found and killed, the fight's just over, in my opinion. Assuming there's not some crazy, like, quad ruptures that come out, which he's still not 25, so we're not really close to it. I mean, you were talking about the item timings. I also didn't think we were going to get there, but Scotty and Mjolnir are both done. He's doing a serious amount of damage now. He has his level 20 talent as well, of course, so a lot of magic spread damage in this Chrono. Even if you solo Curse the Void during it, I don't think you feel great about that, right? It's kind of just, okay, 2 seconds, I don't care, I'm back to hitting you. Little awkward now. A little awkward.
Yeah, just a little bit. Boy, Alpha's definitely going to look back on this game if they lose it. And just look at that window of time, like the 20 minutes where, like, it felt like almost nothing happened in the game.
Yeah, they did not do anything with that lead. They did not pick off a single hero for, like, 15 minutes with Super Farm Shaker, Super Farm Puck.
The graph, you know, like the little events that are at the very bottom. And sure, there's a lot of dots. It's a lot of destroyed Sentry Ward, destroyed Observer Ward. Like, maybe a tower died, but the hero kills, if you were just to limit to the hero kills, it's like maybe 3-4 kills over the space of 20 minutes.
Yeah, this is not the graph you want to see from the position you had. Especially with the itemization you had. Again, you had the Blink Yule's bots on Puck. Alright, this itemization is catch Tinker or catch cores on the map. Set stuff up for your team, and it just didn't happen. Maybe the vision wasn't there, maybe the proper people playing with each other wasn't there. Maybe they just thought they were going to scale better than they do. all these things are possible. That's why you can review the replay and figure it out later. But either way, now we're in a game where I favor DogChamp here.
Is it exhausting playing games like these where it's just like constant, like one side or the other, right? Like Alpha is constantly trying to hunt and catch DogChamp. DogChamp's just trying to prolong the game. It naturally means this game's going to go longer than the average to start a series. Like surely, like mentally, that's got to play a bit of a toll, right?
It depends. Depends if you win it or not. A little bit. It depends how you feel in the game. Like if you feel like you're losing this game for an hour and then you lose it, that feels pretty bad. If you feel like you're winning, it's just they have some annoying high ground defense lineup. We just have to play it slow, and then you win it. You probably don't feel too bad, but it just comes down to how the players feel in general.
Yeah,
that's what's gonna like mentally exhaust you or not. I mean, physically it will exhaust you. Like I think people underrate the actual physical strain playing in a high competitive or high stress game will do to you. It's the same with chess. Like you burn an insane amount of calories. You go into like a hypertension mode or higher adrenaline state, and then your body's pumping, right? So that's why a lot of times I think it's very important what you do in between a lower bracket final and a grand final, for example. Like if you play 3 games in that lower bracket final, and then you have to go into a grand final at TI, for example, like 2 hours later, that gap is really important what you do, because you just played a series where you were probably in a very elevated state, and then do you want to reset from that? Do you want to come down? Do you want to come down and then go back up to go into the next series, right? Like how do you mental load manage that is very important. And in theory, the same thing applies within a series with very long games. Like you play some hour-long game, in 15 minutes, you got to load it up again. Do you try and come all the way down from that? Do you come halfway down and then gear back up, right? I think it's different for different people. It's different for different teams. I'm not sure I expect like all these NA teams in this qualifier to understand that stuff fully, be able to do it, but in theory, with like mental coaching and this type of thing, you can control it and put yourself in the best spot. And whichever team does it better has an advantage.
If whoever wins this series and the next, that is something that they do have to keep in mind for tomorrow's matches, because tomorrow is where we go into that lower bracket matches where they both play, and then we play the upper bracket finals, and then we go back and play another elimination match. So it means that the teams have to get up early, play a series, they have a break, and then they've got to play another elimination series. So that's definitely going to come into play tomorrow. But for now, we just got to get through this game 1 where Alpha are
in the pit.
Yeah, they're going to have to do something about this pit. His face is void. He's just soloing it right now.
Yeah, they have Gem on him too. All right, Gangster gets ruptured.
Yeah, decent opening if they can kill him without overcommitting too much. They get the exorcism on him. All right, very nice. What about the pit, though?
I mean, it's just so hard to get in here versus the Tinker. I don't even
know he's there.
I don't know. Maybe not.
I don't think they do. I mean, they popped exorcism.
I mean, now they do.
Well, they know a little bit too late. Monster jumps in, but he doesn't get the Aegis in time. The Fisher was close. He picks up the cheese on the Faceless Void, so he's going to burn through the Aegis now, and he'll have the cheese on the second life as well. Alpha, Yaren blinking in, trying to do some sort of damage to the Death Prophet. Spirit Sight is a little hard. They caught the Tinker, though. Tinker inside the coil, just pops the BKB with the Chronosphere on top. They throw out the Curse. That stalls things a little bit, but here comes the Bashes. He's going to deal with the Faceless Void. The Tinker comes back into play to finish off the Puck as well. He gets jumped by Flea, but an E-Blade. It'll save him from the Enchant Totem hit. Now he can keep his distance. If he sees him, he should be able to get the Scythe, actually just TPs straight back home. Let the Faceless Void do the work here. He's going to chase him down with the time dilation, and the Tinker TPing in on top of that one. He'll go for the extra kill. He'll go for the full team wipe. He'll go for the Death Prophet to finish off well, I was going to say the game there. It kind of feels that way. He just wiped Alpha and got Roshan.
Death Prophet did the most damage, but not winning the fight. It's nice shard snatch, at least. You get that refresher shard. You'd rather have the Aegis, but you insta-burn the Aegis. Still, that Chrono ended up being the real game winner there. Like, you chronoed this Bloodseeker during his BKB, which is amazing. You're saving your Tinker, who's right outside of it, and then Puck ends up, I think he blinked into it. Maybe he was just phase shift there, but either way, he ends up getting stuck in that chrono as well and just gets hexed out of it and bursted 100-0. That chrono really saved the fight there, turned it around, let Tinker play the entire engagement. He ends up living with a couple hundred HP. Very clutch here by the stand-in.
Did a great
Very
job.
nicely done.
Alpha, they all had buybacks after that team fight. It seems like the Bloodseeker completed out his refresher, so they are just gonna give up whatever is taken here. Looks like a tier 2. I'm not sure if they can actually stick around for a tier 3. It's risky if they do. He does have the Basher back up on the Faceless Void. He's playing some games with them right now.
This is no reason to take this fight. You don't have chrono, so the hardest fight for Tinker going high ground. You just chill here.
Yeah.
Like every fight where you force Alpha into you, you're gonna be happy. They have to go through Venom Wards, they have to go into the Tinker. The Faceless Void can see everybody with a gem. It's harder to dive. Now they do have Aeon Disc on Puck now. Pretty big for him. He can dispel the Tinker chain stun attempt, turn it around on him. He can also survive a chrono. And this is their big smoke move to try and regain some momentum in this game. Gotta find something good here.
Got 4 ruptures to throw down in this fight. If they win the fight, they could get the Puck to level 25 as well, which would be big. BKB goes off instantly from Yaren. The initiation from Alpha kind of spoiled. They spot
what a curse!
What a beautiful curse, though. Echo Slam straight after it to keep the chain stun going. Though the Tinker almost snaps a coil, but he pops the BKB and turns TPs out. Nicely played by him. Flea, he's going to take out from the poison here. Looks like Bloody Nine's trying to set it up, though. Tibu and the Tinker are both coming in. They're going to focus on Monster for now. They get the kill on him. The Winter Wyvern also gets burned down by the Tinker in the end. Another 4 dead, 4 Alpha sold. The only remaining member of Alpha alive, the only one to defend the base.
Oh my god, that looks so good. This 3-man curse with Shaker sitting there ready to clean him up, but of course, this Void finds the chrono on Bloodseeker on the side, just takes him out of the fight solo, so none of the follow-up damage can come through. Tinker just ends up being able to TP out.
It's twice now that I don't think he got a single we're talking about 4 ruptures, but he can't even cast 1.
Yeah, and you see Void chasing him down. Like, I mean, this is the problem with the Bloodseeker Void matchup is the ruptures just don't mean anything to this hero. He just doesn't care. You have to be able to like stun him and bash him down.
Man, they were really gunning for it. They had the double damage. Somebody made the call. Let's go for tier 4s. They get 1 tier 4, then decide they can't do it fast enough. They back up after clearing the mid lane of barracks and go right back to farming. Looks like a refresher could be on the menu for the Faceless Void as well. So if 1 Chronosphere has been devastating enough for Alpha to deal with, a 2nd Chronosphere could just spell GG.
Yeah, he has Penta Edged. He has level 25 for Backtrack. Refresher is definitely the item here. Double Chrono is just absolutely devastating. It's way too hard for this Wyvern to position in the fights anymore. Like, he is just going to get run at by Veno, Primal Beast, Tinker. Even if he does get some Embrace Save, okay, you just drop a 2nd Chrono and then Bloodseeker's dead and the game's over. Pretty straightforward here for DogChamp as long as Tinker doesn't get jumped. Even if Tinker does get jumped, the Void might be able to carry the fights at this point.
Yeah.
But damn, RCY, he played a hell of a game. I mean, I think the early game was very rough for them. But they got the fights they wanted, and in those fights, he played it very well. That's what counts with this hero.
He's going to have a Wind Waker as his next item.
That's pretty spicy.
That is a huge pickup between Defense Matrix and Wind Waker. Like, I don't know how you actually... Because the coil being level 25, that was going to be a huge factor for shutting down the Tinker. But
Yeah.
if you've just got Wind Waker to cancel it, then you no longer have the answer to him.
That's good itemization. Right, Rupture trying to lead it off. He is level 25 with the refresh, so he has more up his sleeve. Oh, what a chrono though.
Chronosphere. Caught 2. Bloodseeker and Winter Wyvern, a dream for DogChamp. The absolute best 2 heroes, I would say, to catch and ensure probably the end of the game is they do not have buyback.
Okay, he just found the best targets possible. lined him up perfectly. And just, okay, I'll take him. Thank you. No buybacks. Probably just the game here.
Yeah, there is. They don't have buybacks based off of golds, but obviously DogChamp, I mean, they've already taken one tier 4. You might as well just push it.
Yeah, you already
Force the
refreshed.
next tier 4. See if they buy back.
You have another chrono here. I mean, he's just saving chrono if there is a Bloodseeker buy. You want to buy? I'll chrono you again, son.
Yeah, yeah. Monster. Pops the Exorcism. Poison Nova going out from Italiano Gangster. Only onto the Earthshaker, but they're going to make sure he's not a factor in this fight as Monster charges forward. RCY finishes off that Earthshaker. Quickly goes for the buyback now. Tier 4s. Still getting a little bit low, but it looks like they made the call. One buyback, and they are out. They're going to retreat with the Winter Wyvern coming back up. Or at least they're going to reset, leaving Italiano Gangster behind for the rest of the team. Will survive and just back out. No problem.
I don't know. I feel like that's a fight you can end the game there. I mean, there's no Bloodseeker. I don't know about that. I think the game should end there. We'll see what happens, but it might come to bite him a little bit. I mean, I don't think they're in a worse position, but
I will say I feel like this series, it makes sense. Lower bracket. It's elimination for TI on the line here in game 1. It does make sense that there isn't as much killer instinct as you might expect in a Pro Dota series, as both teams are probably skittish of giving up what they perceive as the advantage they currently hold.
Oh, that's definitely fair. That's definitely fair. Still gonna call it like I see it, but it's a fair.
Yeah, I would definitely love to see a little bit of more oomph, a little bit more go get 'em, Tiger. You know.
I mean, you just gotta play to the win condition. You know, like this win is Bloodseeker dead with potentially no buy. You either play for the buyback or you play, you know, to just throw them there. They had the time to set it up properly. I don't think they have to dive the fountain so aggressively either. Just set up wards and play for the tier 4. Either way, though, Fleet, you have no buyback, sir.
Yeah, this is really bad for him if he dies, but thankfully the Invis, no, they won't get him away from RCY, not with the Shivas, not with the overwhelming blink, not with the constant blinks forward that catches the Bloodseeker. He gets hit by the scythe. He's out of mana, though. Uh-oh. RCY, he's got a BKB, but he's caught. Oh, Rises, he's so low, he won't be able to invest and be able to get that kill onto the Tinker. He's going to be chased down by the rest of the team. They locked the Tinker down. It was a golden opportunity, but it slips through their fingers, and now 3 dead with no buyback, and surely it's time for DogChamp to end this.
Yeah, he's going to try and clean up the puck here, too. Oh, missed the Hex stun. I don't think it matters, style points, you know. I mean, Tinker has buyback during all of this anyway. Even if they get him there, you're still in the same boat. It's just too many lives, and yeah, GG. I mean, Alpha just, they had a huge window there to close this game out, and just did nothing with it. That's the sad truth here. And this lineup was a ticking time bomb, man. You go late game versus Faceless, Void, Tinker, Veno. Good luck, man. It's just becomes... I mean, yeah, you can win it, but the execution required is absurdly high.
All right, well, that was an interesting start to the day for us, to say the least. 50-minute game, and in the end, when this patch has just been chock full of kills, sometimes 2 kills a minute, we actually ended up with only 47 kills total, and a stretch where there was just